So this is fun. GS Cup is really fun for me. I see we have a dueling Zacian.
Yeah, it's kind of, I wouldn't say the best Pokemon in the format because it's slowly dropped out of the top 3 as far as restricteds go as in usage in all of these tournaments. Oh, and we just went to a black screen.
Oh.
But yeah, but Zacian kind of has dropped out of a little bit of usage. But the main thing is that it kind of beats a lot of formerly good Pokemon like Xerneas and other Pokemon of the sort if it's in the right position.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Xerneas in our GS Cup we featured last week, and it was targeted down pretty heavily. Didn't get to chance to do much.
Yeah. Also, having the ability to just ignore Dynamax is a really nice thing. So being able to do like 75, 80% to like Dynamax Yveltal, being able to do 75% to Dynamax Groudon.
Yeah.
Even like Wild Charge into Kyogre does like 70%, which is ridiculous. A lot,
yeah. And I think people are just anxious to use it because it is the new Pokemon, of course. You know, we've seen some of these other restricteds before, like Kyogre, old favorite, oldie but a goodie. But yeah, people are just hyped to use the new Mons, I think.
Yeah. I personally can't wait for the day where people decide to try to use Abomasnow because it kind of has a good matchup versus Groudon and it kind of has a good matchup versus Kyogre.
I really like that Pokemon a lot.
I do too. I wish it was a lot better than it was, and I try to make it work in every single format.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I mean, it's just not as good as it used to be back in like
4 times weakness is tough.
Yeah. So it looks like we're having another bit of an issue with the stream setup. I will say it's not. Yeah, we can
Go
talk.
ahead.
I was going to say, we've been having a little bit of an issue over the Christmas break. Sadly, not in the holiday spirit. At least our stream setup isn't. And it doesn't want to agree with us for the last week or so. Yeah. But we should be okay. I think the feed should be back in a second. But in the meantime, what is your topic of discussion, Woke Flossie?
Well, I just wanted to note that Saiyan is bringing, you know, some familiar faces in the Weezing. It looks like it's a Cantonian Weezing and the Regigigas. Of course, neutralizing gas is available on that Weezing, so that's something we could see, as well as the restricteds of Kyogre, which is already proven to be pretty solid in the GS Cup thus far. And like you said, Zacian, which has seen a lot of use lately.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like a very threatening archetype. We see Zacian and Kyogre doing well in pretty much every event. It's always in the top 4 of all these ladder tours, multiple times generally. You see Kyogre probably the best restricted, I would say, at this point.
It's so good having access to those really powerful spread water moves in the rain. But we do see the leads on Nexus side that are going to be the Stakataka and the Indeedee female. And we see the Comfey and the Kyogre on Saiyan side.
Do you think we're just going to see a Giga Drain self-proc weakness policy and like I wouldn't say water
I've
spout,
heard tales.
But maybe Origin Pulse and just get a double KO very quickly?
Yeah, I mean, of course, the Psychic Terrain not preventing any Giga Drain into your own partner Pokemon, so not going to be an issue here if Saiyan did want to go ahead and proc what could be a weakness policy. I personally haven't seen a weakness policy Kyogre in the format yet, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and honestly, helping him Water Spout might be the safest play here. Just going for that and getting a double KO. Not risking the miss, especially because the Indeedee and the Stakataka are most likely going to be slower. We see clicking into Origin Pulse. Oh, never mind, switching last second, clicking Water Spout. Nope. Yes, water. Okay, locking into the Water Spout, we see. And this is probably just a double KO, honestly.
Yeah, unless one of them is sashed, which I don't imagine the Stakataka is. I suppose the Indeedee could be. We do see the Water Spout Wop going to do a ton of damage because that Kyogre is at full health. That is a move that is, the power is based off of how much HP Kyogre has, but because it was at full health, did a ton of damage, and both Pokemon on Nexus side are just going to be knocked out.
And I mean, you can't lead Stakataka with any sort of support into this type of lead. You can't get Trick Room up in the face of Kyogre. And at this point now we can see something like a Giga Draining Geyser, and that might just be the end of this Zacian. Even, honestly, +2 Geyser at 150 base power through Protect in the rain.
Can do a lot, yeah. It looks like the Comfy's gonna go ahead and set up the Trick Room. Of course, this Incineroar is not gonna have a good time in front of this Kyogre, not able to fake out because of its own psychic terrain that it's set up. Really, its fire moves are not gonna do a lot of damage, and of course, the dark moves resisted by that Comfy, and it's just not gonna have a good time here.
Dynamax Incineroar.
I mean, it could happen. I doubt it, but I guess it is gonna happen. Yeah. Because the only one left is the Zacian.
This is something you don't see every day. I will say that.
It's true. It has happened once in a while.
Have you ever Dynamaxed your Incineroar in the face of a Kyogre in the rain?
No, it's not gonna have a good time, like I said. No. The Kyogre just goes ahead and protects this turn, probably trying to avoid that super strong attack from the Zacian. Oh, okay. We see a max flare from the Incineroar into the Comfy. Not going to do a lot of damage, but it is going to change the weather, get rid of that drizzle from the Kyogre, and set up the sun.
Yeah, and at this point, do you think a +2 Max Geyser in the sun KOs Zacian?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It might.
Why Saiyan is just choosing not to Dynamax this Kyogre. It seems pretty safe at this point. Even last turn, it would have been pretty safe.
Maybe just trying to glean as much information out of this team as possible for another game. I don't know.
As we just do see the Giga Drain and Max Geyser play, I don't really see a way through this for Nexo. Like, you're going to be able to get like a KO on Comfy maybe, but you're not getting anything into Kyogre, that's for sure.
No, the Kyogre is just going to be too much. That Incineroar, and maybe it has access to a max guard, but even so, it's not going to be a fun time.
No, not at all. And I think Comfy might just like go back. Yeah, I was gonna say nearly to full with that Giga Drain, and +2 Kyogre, even in the sun, is a pretty terrifying Pokemon to have to deal with.
Yeah, the Incineroar is going to opt for the max darkness. That's going to go ahead and lower the special attack, or the special defense of both the Comfy and the Kyogre. Not going to matter a whole lot, probably, in terms of the Pokemon that Nexo has left. And that Zacian takes a lot of damage, but it does live, so that means it's going to be able to get a big hit off into either the Comfy or the Kyogre.
Yeah, as we see the Behemoth Blade going off into this Comfy, and I don't think there's a chance in the world a non-Babiri Berry Comfy can survive.
No. I don't know if I would have targeted the... I mean, the game is pretty, I think I might have targeted the Kyogre with that Behemoth Blade. Just trying to put some damage into it, knowing that Incineroar is not in a position to do a whole lot. But now we see the Rillaboom come out.
Yeah, and I mean, a Grassy Glide into the Zacian slot is pretty safe, and a Geyser into the Incineroar.
Yep.
We do see High Horsepower, though, is the move of choice. I mean, I don't think it particularly matters. You can
High Horsepower can miss.
Yeah. I think your best option is to just let Kyogre win the game, because Kyogre will win pretty much no matter what at this point, I would say.
Yeah. And if you're Nexo and you're thinking about the next game, I mean, I think that the intention was to maybe get Trick Room up, maybe slow some things down, not let this Kyogre move first with its huge spread damage. What do you do if you're Nexo in the next game? How do you control this Kyogre?
Well, I think the answer is to not bring the Stack Attacker in DD, at least up front. Yeah.
That water spell is such a huge attack, and when coupled with a helping hand in the rain, nothing's surviving.
Yeah, you could potentially go for something like Zacian Incineroar and have like Fake Out plus Behemoth Blade into the Comfy to avoid the Trick Room, or you could just Behemoth Blade the Comfy and do something along those lines. You could even leave the Calyrex plus the Zacian and take out the Comfy and Astral Barrage, and then Dynamax with something in the back. The issue is not letting Comfy set up Trick Room while also not letting Kyogre get a full-powered Water Spout off.
That's it. It's kind of like when Torkoal is in the sun, you know, in Trick Room and firing off those eruptions. You have to prioritize putting damage into it, or else those eruptions are just too strong.
Yeah, and I know it's not very common anymore, but especially like a Specs Torkoal, you think about how strong that is.
Yeah.
Kyogre's Water Spout in the rain is like 1.3 times stronger than Specs Torkoal Eruption, and that's without a Specs on Kyogre.
Right. Or this is a weakness policy Kyogre.
Yeah.
But the first hit was definitely not. The weakness policy hadn't been procced yet. It was insane damage. Rillaboom gonna hang on that Flare Blitz in the rain. And the Kyogre's gonna go for a Max Geyser to finish things off.
Yeah, I think the Kyogre got all 4 KOs there. No, the Rillaboom just did pick off the Zacian, but
it did.
Oh, we're seeing the Incin HP bar go down incredibly slowly, but I think it's gonna die to a Max Geyser if I had to guess.
Yep. So we'll see. See what Nexo decides to do. That Calyrex Rider is a scary Pokemon.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit about Saiyan's team before this battle, but Nexo is packing that Calyrex Ghost Rider, and that's scary. It gets access to both the abilities of Calyrex and the Grimnay from the Ghost Horse, whose name I can't remember right now.
Spectrier.
Yeah, that guy. Look at Incineroar.
Yeah, it's slowly for dramatic effect falling into the background and then freezing.
He's so drama.
Oh, it looks like we're already onto team preview of game 2.
Yep.
My question is, what do you think that Saiyan has for something like the Calyrex and Indeedee lead and something like Helping Hand Astral Barrage, or even Helping Hand
Expanding Force?
Yeah, Expanding Force. I think Astral Barrage is slightly stronger, 130 versus 120 base power.
Yeah.
But I mean, that or even like double Expanding Force, can the Comfy survive the combination of attacks to get Trick Room up? And
not sure.
Does Kyogre take so much damage that you can't do anything? Like you can't Water Spout in return?
Yeah, you couldn't Water Spout. You would have to go for an Origin Pulse or something like that. And of course, you could bring the Wheezing Regigigas, but Wheezing obviously would be weak to those moves as well. So I think maybe the Comfy Kyogre might be the best option that you have in the face of that and the threat of that Expanding Force. But I do think that is a really good option for Nexo.
Yeah. We also could see something like the Whimsicott if it has Taunt. It could just taunt the Comfy, making it to where it can't set up the Trick Room, and you have the Behemoth Blade Zacian on the field. Also, the Zacian could also carry something like Wild Charge to damage his Kyogre, although we're not 100% sure on that. We see Calyrex Whimsicott, actually.
Interesting. All right, and we see Kyogre and Comfy, the same lead from Saiyan.
Well, I think this comes down to, can Nexo get a KO this turn?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We could see, like, of course, a Tailwind from the Whimsicott. We could see a Taunt. We could see the Indeedee switch in and maybe give an Expanding Force from that Calyrex Rider. We could see the Weakness Policy proc turn 1 this time from the Comfy, which of course has priority.
It'd be really cool to see Whimsicott go for Fake Tears into Kyogre and Calyrex go for Max Phantasm. I'm not even sure that KO's Kyogre, just because Kyogre is so incredibly bulky, especially with 140 base special defense. But
you think this Whimsicott's carrying Fake Tears? It might be.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm confused by what potential moves it could have on this team. I would guess Helping Hand based on the rest of the Pokemon on the team.
Yeah.
Especially with the Psychic terrain and mostly physical attackers. But you never know. It could have Fake Tears.
You never know for sure. We are going to see that Calyrex Rider. The Ghost Rider. Come on out. Big brain.
This thing is going to be terrifying to fight against once we actually have the official GS Cup format.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Saiyan might. I didn't see what he brought, but, you know, the neutralizing gas would be able to neutralize both of the abilities on that Pokemon, refusing to allow it the boost or the unnerve ability.
Fun fact, neutralizing gas actually doesn't work on either ability.
Wait, what? Why?
I don't know.
That's broken.
We do see Fake Tears.
The Fake Tears, yeah.
Um, is this enough to KO? I don't think so.
Nope. Says a little more than half, about 60, 70%.
Yeah, and I think if Saiyan had gone for the Giga Drain instead of the Helping Hand, this Max Geyser might KO, although it might already KO. But if it comes just a little bit short...
Oh.
Nope, it just KO.
It got it, yeah.
Kyogre is broken.
Yeah, Kyogre is really good.
I don't even know. I don't even know what Saiyan does. I mean, what Nexo does from here. Like.
Yeah. I don't either.
I mean, I guess you have to predict whether or not the Kyogre protects or not, because if a Protect Trick Room loses you the game, if that's what Saiyan goes for. Oh, I forgot about Floral Healing as an option.
Yeah, it looks like that Kyogre is just gonna be able to heal.
Oh my gosh.
Get its HP back, and then we already saw how much the +2 Max Geyser did to the Zacian in the sun. So this would be, a neutral Max Geyser in the rain.
Yeah, a little bit stronger than +2 in the sun.
Yeah.
And we see Santaku in chat saying, does Kyogre even need weakness policy? I would generally say no, but when it does have it, it doesn't like not pick up any KOs. It's probably KOing Groudon in the sun.
Everything, yeah.
It probably KOs Yveltal. That might be one of the ones it gets that it wouldn't get otherwise.
So you're kind of putting like all your marbles into Kyogre, but that might not be a bad wager.
See the Floral Healing into this Kyogre as it goes back to full, or not full, back to above half. If it went back to full, this game would... Oh, Behemoth Blade. We see the animation. What Pokemon is it into?
It does go into the Kyogre this time, and this time, it is enough to pick up the KO, so perhaps that was a good call. This time I might have prioritized the Comfey to not allow it that Floral Healing, but it turns out to be a good move. Now the Kyogre's gone, and the Zacian can keep dealing some big damage.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I had no clue that was gonna KO.
Yeah?
I thought that was gonna do like 35%, 40% with the Helping Hand boost.
Yeah,
That's not very effective move.
Boost. Yeah. That attack boost, though, it's a strong Pokemon.
And now you can like protect Tailwind and then Helping Hand Behemoth Blade into the other Zacian, because Behemoth Blade is a roll to KO, I believe, Zacians normally.
Yeah. And it looks like this Zacian has Substitute, the one on Saiyan's team. So it'll be interesting. And it looked like the Comfey did click Trick Room. So Incineroar comes out for Nexo, able to intimidate the Zacian, taking away its Intrepid Sword boost that it just got.
Zacian goes for Protect on Nexo's side. Did Saiyans also go for Protect? We do see a double Protect here. This is now the issue where Saiyan has fake out, or Nexo has fake out pressure, and Saiyan just protected. So now you can Behemoth Blade into the Zacian slot and fake it out pretty freely, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so too. The question is, what do you do with Comfey? Is Comfey dead weight right now without the Kyogre? Of course, you can use the Floral Healing move with priority, but everything's at full health on Saiyan's team right now, so that Floral Healing not going to do a whole lot this turn.
Yeah, honestly, like, your best play is like Giga Draining an Incineroar for 3%.
It is too, huh?
And I'm like not particularly sure what Saiyan can do here. I think he ended up clicking Giga Drain into the Zacian, but
oh no,
that's not going to do any chunk of meaningful damage.
Not a satisfying move choice for sure. We do see the Rillaboom switch in for the Zacian, trying to recover that Intrepid Sword boost back on the Zacian.
You think Rillaboom lives this?
I don't know. Oh, it's into the Comfey. Not wanting to deal with... Oh no, that was the Giga Drain, sorry. The Behemoth Blade is coming out now. I don't know.
I don't
think Rillaboom lives this, no.
Oh, this was into the Comfey, so down to Sash.
Oh, okay.
Interesting choice not targeting down the not targeting down the Zacian while it was on the field, where you got pretty much a free, like, 100% damage into it with the combination of Fake Out and Behemoth Blade. But at this point now you have Flare Blitz into Comfy and Behemoth Blade into Rillaboom is pretty free.
And with the Rillaboom and the Comfy on the field, nothing's really threatening this Incineroar. And of course, this rain is still up from when Kyogre was in battle. It's bound to run out soon, and Incineroar does also threaten a lot of damage to the opposing Zacian. So maybe just trying to bide the time until you have some Pokemon that can face down that Zacian in a good position.
We actually see the Zacian protect itself from what's looking like a Helping Hand high horsepower into that slot, which with the Choice Band probably gets the KO. So it was a pretty smart play there. Now being able to cycle another Intimidate, getting the Rillaboom to -2 potentially on the next turn.
Yep. Or the Zacian if it happens to switch in.
And at this point now you can pretty freely take 2 KOs here with the combination of like Moonblast plus Behemoth Blade.
Yep. It looks like that will be the case. I don't think that your Zacian wants to switch in here, if you're saying. So I think that we're going to see some KOs in this turn. Maybe I was wrong. Pause.
Yeah, I don't even think at this point a Helping Hand gets the KO, and especially if the Whimsicott switches back out into Incineroar, Helping Hand, high horsepower. Oh, actually the Zacian switches out.
Interesting. Makes sense.
I think it's interesting here that potentially Nexo could be playing a little bit too safe.
True, that's
allowing
true.
openings for the Zacian once Trick Room is up. Because especially if there's a critical hit and wow, that does a lot on its own.
Yeah. Of course, Incineroar is always packing that berry, though, and going to be able to heal up a little bit more with its Citrus Berry. We do see the Moonblast come out from the Whimsicott. That's going to be enough to finish off the Comfey. Importantly, though, this first turn that Saiyan Zacian is on the field, it's not going to be intimidated, and it is going to get its Intrepid Sword boost when it switches into battle.
I mean, I think the safest play is honestly just Helping Hand Flare Blitz the Rillaboom, make it a 3v1. In order to KO the Incineroar, you have to go for close combat, and then your Zacian wins in Tailwind the next turn.
True.
So,
and we see that this Zacian isn't even like carrying a fighting type move like Sacred Sword. So it's gonna be, I mean, Play Rough is gonna do a bunch to the Incineroar. But we'll see. Yeah, I think that is a good play to go ahead and take care of the Rillaboom this turn, and then you've got 3 Pokemon to deal with this one Zacian. Yeah,
I would say if you're Nexo, you can pretty easily win this by just taking out the Incineroar. As we see, isn't there still a turn of Trick Room left?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that Tailwind was...
That's premature.
Yeah, especially if this... Wait.
We're going to see a parting shot from the Incineroar going to mitigate that Intrepid Sword boost. Now, that's going to stick with Saiyan having no way to switch out and reset that drop.
I think Saiyan clicked Play Rough into that slot. But if it's a Behemoth Blade into that slot, that was such an incredibly risky play.
Yeah.
That could potentially go very wrong here. As we do see the Play Rough into that slot. And yeah, even that does a lot.
That's non-zero damage.
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot safer to just KO the Rillaboom and then bring your Zacian in for free with the Tailwind up the next turn.
Yeah, but now Tailwind is up and you can bring your Incineroar back in to intimidate these Pokemon further. Really just, I mean, maybe that is too safe, but
yeah, I would say it's a lot too... I mean, I don't understand the point of making incredibly safe plays for 7 turns in a row and then making a really risky one on the 8th turn. Is just kind of the way I'm putting it right now. Nexo should still have this game sealed up. There's a pretty safe win con with Helping Hand Behemoth Blade. As long as you don't get crit by the Rillaboom, you can just continuously attack into the Zacian, and your Incineroar beats the Rillaboom in a 1v1.
Yep. When you have speed control left on your team and your opponent has none, it usually puts you in a pretty good position.
Mm-hmm. But we're sitting here waiting. Both players are really thinking. We see the helping hand come out. And, I mean, this should be into the Zacian. If it's into the Rillaboom, you open yourself up to losing to the opposing Zacian, as it is, and they should just get the KO.
Yep, sure does.
So it looks
we know
like
that Rillaboom is at -2 already, I think, or 3.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, Nexo should win pretty safely by just doing the exact same play one more time.
Yep.
Helping Hand Behemoth Blade should just pick it up, especially with the grass off the field. There's no recovery anymore, and you have Whimsicott plus Incineroar as well, and it looks like Saiyan's just going to quit.
Yeah. Well.
All right, on to game 3.
On to game 3. We've had a lot of those tonight.
Have we gone to game 3 in every single set so far?
Maybe. I did. Rollercoaster did.
I believe Ambrosio and Prime also went to game 3.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 4 straight game 3s tonight. I don't have the total count. If anybody has the count from last week, are we on like a 10-game 3 streak like we have been in the past?
Yeah.
But it'll be really interesting to see here. Saiyan kind of realizing, hopefully, that Trick Room is the way to go. If you can get Trick Room up early, you can beat the Zacian in the late game.
Yep. I want to see some expanding forest. That's what I want to see this game.
Yeah, if you're Nexo, you have to realize you're not going to be able to get the free KOs into Kyogre under Trick Room, so you have to play very carefully around it.
Yeah.
Specifically, like the Regigigas doesn't seem to be that big of an issue, so you don't really have to prep for it, and it hasn't come in any of the games.
Right.
It's just really, how do I deal with Kyogre? And if it comes down to, can I deal with Kyogre is the final part to that.
Yep. And remember, we did see the fake tears option on that Whimsicott, so that may be part of course, if you bring out Psychic Terrain, that fake tears is not going to be available to you, so you have to kind of choose your game plan and follow it through. Let's see what happens.
I will say it's very interesting to see Saiyan's team having the only form of speed control being Trick Room, while the Zacian and the Regigigas and everyone else exists, with kind of seeing you can't really beat Tailwind teams without going Trick Room, but you can't really beat Trick Room teams with Zacian in the back, so you have to maneuver very carefully.
Yeah.
Bringing your very fast Pokemon to Trick Room and or bringing your slow Pokemon to non-Trick Room. So it's really interesting to see. This helps a lot because you can just run Trick Room against a team that really can't afford to bring Stack Attack into this matchup, as we saw game 1.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, so what do you do here if you're saying? Do you protect Trick Room? Do you...
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if you're saying, maybe you protect Trick Room. The problem is if Nexo predicts that there's a protect coming from the Kyogre, they could double into the Comfy, taking it out immediately. That means no weakness policy, no floral healing. So that's a risk, with protects, is that you may be punished.
And I mean, I think it's a pretty free move, honestly. You could also Water Spout Trick Room, and you say you're either doubling my Comfy or you're doing like 65% to my Kyogre, because this Zacian hasn't shown Wild Charge yet in places where it definitely would have gone for it if it had it.
True. Yeah. I like the idea of going ahead to proc the weakness policy turn 1. I think we saw how much damage that Kyogre was able to dish out in the rain especially, and the only way that Nexo has to change the weather is either that Stack Attacker, which is likely not coming, or an Incineroar maxing, and it's just not the position it wants to be in. We see the Behemoth Blade come out, and it is into the Comfy, taking it down to Sash.
And we did see the Whimsicott not go for a Prankster move, so it looks like a double up into this Whimsicott, or into this Comfy is taking place.
Into the Comfy.
And It's gonna be a lot of water spout damage going off right now.
It is going to be a lot of water spout damage. Oh, it just gets the KO on Zacian, which we're not surprised about. We saw it. We saw it in the sun earlier. Oh, that was a crit, though. I don't know if it mattered.
I don't think it mattered.
Yeah, I would guess no.
I think that one normally takes out Zacian. I mean, now the interesting thing is here is you assume Calyrex is coming in, but how do you KO Calyrex? What is your best option? I think you bring in Rillaboom and you Grassy Glide plus Geyser it? That should get the KO.
All right.
You also run the risk now of Zacian getting KO'd by Calyrex, and not KOing in return with something like Fake Tears plus max move into Zacian, get that KO, and then you get the boost, and the next turn you can Fake Tears into the Kyogre potentially.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
It's interesting here what Nexo decides to do versus what Saiyan decides to do to kind of counteract this Calyrex being the biggest threat, I would say, on the field.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you're Saiyan, you've got to rely on that damage from the Kyogre. Just seeing, like I said, just taking 3 of the 4 KOs in game 1, being able to survive some attacks. It's just the strongest Pokemon that you've got right now. Yeah,
we see a Protect from the Zacian, potentially the right play here if the Calyrex chooses to target it down, knowing that it maybe is the bigger threat because of its speed.
Yeah, and we do see the max coming out. I think it's going to be that Calyrex, not a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to be a Fake Tears and a max move into something. It's just the real question is into what?
Into which one, yeah.
So we see the Kyogre also Dynamaxing.
Yeah, and if you're Nexo, you really can't go wrong with your targeting other than, a potential Protect or Max Guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one thing is I would assume Nexo tries to target down the Zacian, knowing from last game that a Fake Tears max move doesn't KO Kyogre naturally. But we just see a Helping Hand instead.
We do.
Zacian going for the Protect.
Yep. And we see the Max Phantasm into the Protecting Zacian. Not going to do even half, but it is going to lower the physical defense of both Kyogre and the Zacian.
So, I mean, it looks like, as we saw from last game, it takes a Helping Hand Max Geyser to KO the Calyrex in Dynamax form.
Yeah.
As I don't even think Helping Hand would have gotten that. Did we see a crit on that the previous game?
I don't think so.
But I mean, at this point, we can just see another Max Geyser into Calyrex and potentially sacking off the Rillaboom in the Zacian slot. Knowing you can just bring it back in and nothing can threaten it based on the speed, it looks like that is exactly what Saiyan's going to be doing here.
Yep. Looks like it.
Knowing that the only Pokemon potentially that could be in the back are Incineroar or Indeedee makes it a lot easier to know, like, okay, I can just bring my Zacian back in after the Intimidates get cycled.
Yep. Makes sense to me.
So, okay, we have a bit of a
little freeze.
Yeah. I believe we're just
it was a crit? It was a crit last time. That's what we're being told in the chat.
Oh, yeah. I kind of thought I remembered that. I wasn't 100% sure, but I think we're just going to jump back to the game very quickly here.
Oh, I think they were saying yes, it was to something else. Never mind.
Oh.
That's what I get for reading chat.
Okay. I think once this comes back in very quickly, I think we're probably just going to see a... Oh. Or not. Well, we are very briefly going to have kind of not sure what's going on here in the game. I would guess refreshing. I would guess when we get back that was it a Max Guard from the... Oh no, we see the the Calyrex is gone from the field, I believe. And the Kyogre didn't take very much damage at all, so I assume that was a Moonblast into that slot and max move into the Rillaboom slot. Specifically, max Ghost being, or max Ground potentially, based on how much HP it has left. We're seeing a stat drop. Is that Incineroar coming in? Is that...
It is.
Okay, I was going to say. And I think this Kyogre just wins at this point. I'm not sure how you're beating a Kyogre with an Incineroar and a Whimsicott left. So...
I don't either. That Incineroar just doesn't have a good time against Kyogre.
Oh, and the Kyogre still has a max turn left. Yeah, I think like -4 Kyogre in the rain with 150 base power max Geyser might pick off Incineroar.
Yeah, I think so. We do see the max Geyser, yeah. Yep, Incineroar just going to faint in a dramatic fashion, as usual.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's the issue with the stream. This is generally not a problem we have. We've had kind of this slow stream problem once before.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's fixed for the 5th set. We were good for the first 2, and then had a little bit of an issue. It sounds like it's with the server. It's having a bit of a problem right now. Hopefully, I assume with all the great work Gemma does, she'll have that for us back up and running next week. But
yeah, internet problems, like, things are just the worst. When there's like some problems in the internet that you can't control, it feels so bad.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it just sounds like we're having some connection issues with the server that are just completely out of our hands.
Yeah, it'll probably be temporary and be fixed soon, but we appreciate you sticking with us. I'm still having fun watching BGC, so we still have one more match after this one. It looks like Saiyan's going to be able to wrap it up with that Ice Beam crit into the Whimsicott. Crit mattered.
Yeah, but good games to both of these players. It was a really fun set to watch. Calyrex Ghost, although it did not get the win here, incredibly threatening and something we're going to have to see a lot more in the future.
For sure. And Zacian, knowing that Zacian can do so much damage into an opposing Zacian is... that's frightening.